With a lack of aircraft targets on the ground, the level bombing Kates hit the island's oil tanks and the AA installations that are putting up a vicious wall of fire to meet them. The dive bombing Vals attack hangars, supporting installations and the powerhouse. The main hangar erupts in flame. Having dropped their fuel tanks, the Zeros conclude the attack with strafing runs on remaining AA weapons. 13 minutes after the explosive attack began, the raiders withdraw. At 7 AM, the Japanese raid commander sends a message back to the fleet that a second raid will be required to fully neutralise the base. They haven't disabled the runway, nor knocked out heavier defensive weaponry that would later be used on amphibious troops. Over at Task Forces 16 and 17, Admiral Fletcher orders USS Hornet and Enterprise to begin launching their air wings. This is much earlier than planned, but he is keen to hit the Japanese carriers at their most vulnerable point, just after the air wings have returned from their raid on Midway, and while they are refueling and rearming. As only 2 of the 4 enemy carriers have been spotted, he holds launching Yorktown's air wing for another hour and a half. The B-26s and Avengers are the first to attack the Japanese carriers. Zeros fall on the Avengers as they brave the wall of AA fire to launch their torpedoes against Hiryu. They all miss owing to evasive manoeuvring by the carrier, and 5 of the 6 Avengers are destroyed. The 4 B-26s follow. One is shot down on its run-in, and another receives crippling AA damage, resorting to an attempted suicide attack on the Akagi. It narrowly misses the bridge containing the carrier group's commander Vice Admiral Nagumo, and crashes into the sea. 2 torpedoes are released but miss, and the surviving 2 bombers make for home. An ambiguous message comes into Nagumo from a recon plane that 10 US surface ships have been spotted north of Midway. While reflecting on what to do with this information, at 7:48 AM the next US wave arrives. The Zeros tear into the 16 Dauntless dive bombers and shoot down 8 as they run in at a shallow angle towards the Hiryu. This unorthodox and inaccurate angle of attack is chosen because of the inexperienced pilots. All 8 remaining aircraft drop their bombs and miss. 15 B-17 heavy bombers that had earlier taken off to attack the transport force has been rerouted to join the attack on the carriers, and arrive at 8:10 AM at 20,000 feet. The carriers perform evasive manoeuvres as the bombers release their ordnance. It is not surprising that all of the bombs dropped from such a high altitude miss.